Depression and suicide are serious issues that affect many people. If you're feeling alone or hopeless, know that you are not alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, there are resources available to help you. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group offers a 24-hour toll-free emergency helpline for suicide crisis support. Call them on 0800 567 567. Remember, you're not alone. There is hope and help is available.
Good afternoon, Mzansi. We are here online. We're live today. Of course, my name is Jabulani. I'm not alone here. I'm with Mo. Welcome, Mo.
Yes, Mr. JB, man. It's nice to be here, and it's nice to find myself here, as a young citizen, coming in a show like this that deals with current affairs, dealing with what is going on around the country and giving people information that they need. So I hope, today and, the rest of the days, it's going to be, something that is very educative to the people out there.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm looking forward.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. I'm actually asking myself, why am I not hearing myself? Yeah, by the way, Mr. JP, you were introducing me. And sorry about that at home if you were not hearing me, but I will start again by saying, it's a great opportunity to be here and to be sitting down with you in this Mzansi Affairs, a show in which it is going to inform people with what is happening all around, and we get to sit down and discuss some of the things that, a lot of citizens have, crisis about.
Yeah, man. It's an exciting Tuesday. As I'll say today is 12th March 2024, where we're coming with a topic, an exciting topic that will be dwell on it and discuss about it, which is something that is happening here in South Africa. Last week, I remember I was with Palesa. We were discussing about to vote, which is something that is building on form. When we talk about voting. It's where it's taking us to be today, because today we've got a simple topic that we're going to talk about, which is unemployment, which is happening here in our country. So it's a crisis on its own, but I think we have more here, the guy who's gonna get deep insight into it and tell us what's really happening, what's happening when we talk about unemployment.
I mean, before, because I would like our listeners to stay with us, in which we are going to go on a short break, after a couple of minutes. Not yet right now, but when we come back, it's unemployment is something that we're going to discuss, and give people the facts out there that they need to know in terms of what is happening. Because as a young person, who's also been in the phase of being unemployed, I kind of have that experience, and also my friends and my peers, we also see these things happening, trying to find out what is going on and how jobs are really created in our country, right? So I hope our people follow us on all our social media platforms, which is YouTube. They should press the subscription button, the notification button, and also add more input, add more, comments, and tell us what you think. Is our government being fair when it comes to producing jobs for, every citizen here in our country? And also we are available on Facebook, which is Share Online. Press the like button, follow us. Instagram is also the same thing, so that whenever we come again each and every Tuesday at this time, bringing you, the current things that are happening out there from, sports, business, and what's trending,
You can name it.
Yeah. So like, just to get a peek, or on this topic before we go on our break, ne? I mean, I believe, have you been in the unemployment phase for a long time?
Yeah, man. I think it's an experience on its own. Everybody got into that phase where you know that you're not unemployed.
Yeah.
You know where to go, where to start your life. But it's something that I know that South Africans out there, they are experiencing it as we talk, me and you here.
Yeah.
So it will be good when they come in and tell us about their experience.
Yeah,
You understand?
yeah.
So what I can say about me and as individual,
Yeah.
I have experienced it. It's bad, it's something that you don't want to see.
Yeah.
You don't want to see yourself in there. But anyway, it's happening. But we're going to look at it today, and we're gonna go deeper and try to get some solution and understanding what's happening around there.
Yeah, Mzansi Affairs right here on Share Online, ladies and gentlemen. Please join us after the break.
Depression and suicide are serious issues that affect many people. If you're feeling alone or hopeless, know that you are not alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, there are resources available to help you. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group offers a 24-hour toll-free emergency helpline for suicide crisis support. Call them on 0800 567 567. Remember, you're not alone. There is hope and help is available.
Welcome back, Mzansi, and then we're live on Share Radio. More, I mean,
Yeah.
like we have to dive in this topic. I mean, like people are excited at home; they want to know what's gonna happen. What can you tell us? What's happening? I mean, like really, numbers they don't lie. If you
Yeah.
can take us
Yeah.
and give a little bit background about the state of what happening about unemployment.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to trading, economics, and also statistics, South Africa, they always gather up information on what's happening around the country in terms of unemployment. People should actually keep track on what is happening because this information is actually collected quarterly in our country, which is there's, Q4, Q1, they kind of take information and they put it together to let people know that where else you busy complaining about employment, there are people who are actually getting employed out there. So like you should kind of look up into that so that you can also equip yourself with different skills, right?
Yes.
So we are going to look into South Africa unemployment rate.
Okay.
There's this paragraph that the Stats SA actually issued, in which I'm going to take you through. I hope people at home can see there on their screen, and I'm going to read it, loudly for them, because right here they stated that South Africa's South Africa's unemployment rate rose to 32.1% in Q4 of 2023, and then up from a 1-year low of 31.9% in the prior period, as the number of unemployed persons increased by 46,000 to 7.9 million. Meanwhile, employment fell by 22,000 to 16.7 million. After rising by 8 straight quarters, and the labor forces rose by 25,000 to 24.6 million, job losses were recorded primarily in community and social services, and that means it's a negative 171,000, and followed by construction, which was also negative 36,000, agriculture negative 35,000, trade negative 28,000, manufacturing negative 1,000. And on the other hand, more jobs were also added in finance. 128,000 jobs were added. On transport, it's 57,000, and in mining, 37,000. The expanded definition of unemployment, which includes these discouraged from seeking work, was 41.1% in Q4, down marginally from 41.2% in Q3. So the youth unemployment rate in South Africa, measuring job seekers between 15 and 24 years, picked up to 59.4% in Q4 from an over 1 year low of 58% in the third quarter. So to someone who's out there who doesn't understand, what do they mean?
Yeah.
It's like, if you can put it in simple terms of why we are not employed, rather than giving us, this how many percentages, because people don't really like dealing with numbers. Yes, they don't like dealing with numbers. So like they want facts and factual information that will help them to understand why we are not employed.
Yes.
Yes,
more. You have touched important stuff there, and then you've been talking about numbers. I think numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
According to my experience, So we'll take it from there. We're gonna look at the numbers. Of course, we're not gonna ignore that. It's part of us,
Yeah.
So, and in actual fact, what do you think what should be done actually to take our rate back, maybe to be a little bit better, because like now it looks like it's a high. Do you think it's what people they think about foreigners? They come into our country, they take our jobs, or it's something that our government have issues with alone. We can't produce. What's really happening at the background?
As a young person, trying to find out exactly, what one should actually really go through in terms of getting a job, because one thing everywhere, it's a system that was created for everyone, for communities out there, that people should actually go to school and they should get the qualification.
Okay,
and
yes.
If you have the qualification, you can apply for the job that you have qualified for from school. So we've been getting a lot of people who are dropouts, and there are a lot of reasons why do people drop out. It's not because they don't like school, but it has to do with funds, because also education is also something that is expensive. People, they spend money. So a question that is asked is like, okay, if someone is from a very poor background, what should they do in order for them to, have benefits of applying to, schooling and getting proper education? Because we see that a lot of private schools are coming, to light.
Yes.
And they say, when you go to, there's a thing that they say that when you go to a private school, you'll certainly get a job, in which it actually sidelines, a random person who is from a poor background, because they want you to pay. You pay fees. It's like now someone asking that, my parents can't afford, so how would I get that money, that you guys want from me? So those are the factors that we kind of have to look for, because it goes deep, man. Because also NSFAS is kind of like struggling to provide funds for the kids, accommodation, school fees, and such things. So when the government tries to, gather around every information that has to do with what is going on out there, why are young people unemployed? They come up with this that they're not going to school. They're not qualified for some certain jobs. But now it's like, how are they going to qualify while they're from poor backgrounds?
Yes, more. I mean, like, I will go back to the numbers. If I will check something that will say like share unemployed South Africa in fourth quarter of 2024 by education level. You understand?
Yeah.
Where we're talking about matric and other tertiary, graduate and South Africans, as a whole. So when we checked, I mean, like the last percentage that when we checked, it was 33.7%. You understand? And then when we check the other tertiary, it was, I mean, like 20.6%. Graduate, we are at least 9.6. I mean, like when you talk about numbers, of course, what we're crying about, it's we want numbers to be down.
Yeah.
When we talk about percentage here, it means higher percentage. There's people that are suffering out there. You understand? But it goes back to basics, which is education. Before you get unemployed as individual, people must go to school. People must study, must have qualifications, so that they can get employed. You understand? So tell me something from your background, or what you know, or what you see, or your research, or anything. You understand?
Yeah.
People that have passed grade 12, those who are failing to go to varsities to further their studies and all that. You understand? Which programs do you think they must look at, you understand, so that they can better themselves and get employed or equip themselves for employment?
I think in terms of equipping yourself after school, there are a lot of programs that, one can actually visit, because things like TVET colleges, going to a TVET college, it's you equipping yourself with, doing physical work, in which when it gets you to, the world of physicality, I mean, because I believe when you go to a tertiary level at that stage, that means, you have actually conquered the theory stage, so it's time to now learn new skills. I mean, skills development, also government, offers the skills development thing. There's also a skill development plan that was issued, in which is something I am trying to look up into. But, people really need to equip themselves with skills, because what you have studied from high school is something that you need to kind of, get it into progress, learn more about it, know more, because research is something that is shown to be something that is very, very important for a learner who just finished school. Right. So right here I have this SA skills, in which I hope people are seeing right now, for learners, if you are a learner who wants to advance your skills and career prospects, you want to find your best opportunities, employers in South Africa, people who are looking for people to get into, job spaces, this is the page for you. It's called SA Skills. SA Skills is the one that you need to check out, because you will be notified by the internships and learnership or the employment opportunities that match your profile and preferences, because it's like, okay, you just finished your matric right now, you did certain subjects, you go in this, they will actually match, everything that you have done, and they will place you where you belong.
Okay, yes, Mo, I hear you, and you bring some important stuff there. Tell me something. I mean, like now for students that are coming from grade 12, you understand? Because I think at some point maybe people, they feel like they made wrong choices. You understand? When I'm talking about like educational stuff, which means people, they didn't choose right courses that can give them employment. Because there are a lot of people, they say maybe they are doing business studies, those courses, they say maybe they are not good enough.
It's not for them,
Yes. So what can you advise people that are coming from grade 12 to tertiary level? Which courses they must look at You understand? To get employment, to be out there and to be in demand actually, per se. What can you advise people about that?
I think when I was in high school, there's one thing that they called, career expo.
Yes.
So there will be people coming from different universities, different institutions.
Yes.
They will help you with you choosing the right career path.
Yes.
People, because what you're saying, it's true, man. It's true in terms of what people are going through out there in terms of getting the right career path for yourselves and equipping yourself and getting the job of your dreams. But now people, they miss, if you are in high school, you shouldn't miss what they call a career expo, career path. These people, they come, they help you, and they advise you on the subjects that you are doing at school. That since you're doing this subject, this is what we have for you. This is what is available for you. Because every child who's in high school qualifies to go to, to go into institution, higher education, further your education, So that one is the first advice and the first step for someone who's still in high school, because they will take everything that's happening right now for granted, and lay it aside and say, what, I'll see, in the future what the future has for me, and in which it's not something that will be advisable for someone who's in high school, because there are people who can help you, in terms of your skill development providers. Because if you are someone who's working in developing the skills and you want to reach more learners, and more employers in South Africa, SA Skills, as I said, is the website to go to. They will help you to shape your career path, and get everything right on track for you, and, to better your future and your education.
I hear you more. I mean, like you've been touching a lot in different stuff. I mean, like where people can get help, and then where people can go, and I mean, like people, they mustn't undermine career exhibitions.
Exactly.
Because career exhibition is where you understand where you're going, and then what are you going to face after this? Because like a lot of people, when they get to varsity, they get lost. But there is something that I would like to share more. I mean, like with the experience, people they go to universities and then they find that let's say you wanna do engineering, you understand? You find that there is no more space. The course is full. Now you're forced to take any course, you understand? For people that are I mean, like in rush because of, I don't want to go back home, I'm coming from maybe Limpopo, I want to be in Gauteng, things are happening, you have taste everything that is happening here, so you don't want to go home. You find yourself taking some courses that are, maybe I will not say that they are not important, they are lacking of employment, you understand? There are courses that are struggling, we can't run away from them. But anyway, let me emphasize in something. If we come from high school, I mean, like we need to take better decisions, you understand, and make sure and make research and understand what's going on out there. So for someone that is in tertiary, that are busy studying these courses that are highly employed, I mean, like people that they know that if they come from here, we cannot get employment because like they are in demand. So what will you advise them? I mean, like in terms of like because like there are things that happening, not that when you come from a tertiary level you will go straight to work. There are programs that are involved. So what can you advise them, and what they must look at to do after studying as an tertiary level?
I just want to take myself back to the question and the statement that you actually raised, that Someone might be coming from, a different province. They want to study something here, right?
Yes.
So it's like, okay, I do not have space in this institution. So rather than actually choosing something that is not for you, I think it is a better chance of you making more research, because people have taken research for granted. And you can also apply for like your will, in which is work integrated learning. You can also do volunteering. Volunteering helps the most to equip yourself, because my solution to most of the things is familiarize yourself with the environment that you would love to find yourself.
Okay, thank you, Mo. Let's take a break and then we'll come back and discuss more about it.
Depression and suicide are serious issues that affect many people. If you're feeling alone or hopeless, know that you are not alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, there are resources available to help you. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group offers a 24-hour toll-free emergency helpline for suicide crisis support. Call them on 0800 567 567. Remember, you're not alone. There is hope and help is available.
Welcome back. You still with Jabu and more. We're touching base on unemployment. Thank you for your time. More. I mean, like when we go to the break, you were stating facts about what was gonna happen about students. So I would like you to emphasize more about that and remind them what you were saying. And then after that, there are some few questions that I still wanna ask you so that we can understand, because for me sitting here, I understand that it's not only the people that are in matric, tertiary level and everywhere, but someone who is in Ekasi don't know where to start and all that. But we'll come on that. Please go back a little bit in that for people and the programs that they can look at. You understand? The one from tertiary level to out there. when you want to start working.
Yeah, I mean, starting to, at township level, we noticed that the difficulties and the differences, they come about sometimes as something that you need to go deep into, and understanding why people are not employed, and why the unemployment rate is so high. Because every part of South Africa has that unemployment rate, but the percentages are not the same. You see, so let us start at the township, because as we are here to also brief the people from the township, someone right now might not be listening, but might come, they might pass through this video, this live, and they would watch it and want to know how to equip themselves. Because I believe that a lot of information out there is missed. So like we kind of have to help people into putting some of the solutions and some of the conversations that we have, so that they can listen and actually learn something, right? So I've noticed that in townships, for people not to kind of get themselves equipped with the right skills, the problem is lack of information. So someone will ask, how can I get employed? Where can I find a job? And then you would start with a simple thing and ask, do you have a CV? And then they would also ask, what is a CV? And you have to take them through the steps of actually making a CV. Because one thing that is also a problem here in South Africa is literature, in which most of the people are not aware of. A lot of people can read and they can write.
Wow.
So this fourth industrialization is also, pushing us to that factor of we need to know how to read and write, because a lot of jobs that are created requires people to know how to read, because you need to read your job description, when your job is given to you. So like in the township, what people want is fast money, easy money. Take this and put it here, I'll pay you.
Wow.
So it's becoming a major problem, in the townships, because it's like there are programs that have been tried to be put around, in terms of making sure that the people are equipped with more information. They do not lack, when it comes to information. So they also have this free Wi-Fi thing in around Kopanong. If people don't know, you can go to Kopanong. There's also a library, you can just get there, connect to the COJ Wi-Fi. It's a free Wi-Fi that's open for someone. So if you're complaining with data that you can't, access a lot of information because I don't have data, these kind of things are actually created for people, who complain about this stuff. So they make it easy for people to get information on the internet, right? So, and then it also goes to someone who is in tertiary. They have finished, they want a job. Now the tough job starts. Of seeking employment in companies. And then you find out that it really takes you a long time. But one problem that it actually affects many young people into making wrong decisions is staying for a long time and not finding more and doing more research on what you want to do. So like not minding it, not equipping yourself, not getting the right information. It will just put yourself in that position whereby you are waiting for employment to come to you. Instead, employment must find you already that you are ready. Because when employment says, I'm ready to get people, there are certain things that you need to equip yourself with. As much as I spoke about people graduating or from high school getting that, there's less space and I can't get in, so I have to wait for another year. That year in which most of the people, they call it gap year. They call it gap year. And gap year is actually someone who says, I want to take a break from studying, but now I want skills. I've been doing theory for a long time, but now it's time for me to do some practical work. So doing some practical work, going out there, finding, like, if you want to be a lawyer, just go to a law firm.
Yeah.
Ask information on what's needed
Yes.
instead of staying home and saying, you know what, I'll just send my CV, they will reply. But
Okay.
go there and see what's happening. Who might know? You might just open your own law firm while sitting at home.
Yeah, man. I mean, like you've been touching important stuff. I mean, like for anyone who is looking for for employment, I mean, like you need to start yourself. You need to stand up. You
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to go out there, look for resources. You understand? As people, I've got this qualification. Where can I start? What can I do? Who can I call? You understand? So it's not all about you sitting at home and say that I'll browse, I'll do this, you know. It's all about knocking at the door. You understand? So for me and for you more, we are here, we advising, we telling people about all these things,
Yeah.
what they can do. I mean, for people that are not graduates, that are around Ikasi, you understand? I will say that there are a lot of businesses that are running around here. They must go there, ask for skill. I mean, if someone open a business, you understand, that person, of course, have a vision. If you have a vision, so it simply means that that person will take you through the vision, and you guys, you're going to understand each other. How are you gonna do this?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's something that is important. When you get skill, it's where you can apply online, anywhere. You understand? So now you've got like a vision, what you can do, what you can do. I mean, like, so it's simple like that. You need to start somewhere. So more, let's talk about this a little bit more further. I mean,
Yeah.
like, we need to dive deep, because like it's a problem, it's a crisis. As long as percentage is going up, let's talk about people that are coming from outside. I
Yeah.
mean, like, they can take everything. Yeah, I mean, so we're complaining about salaries, you know, we're complaining about the way they treat us at work. I mean, the long hours and all that. So for someone who is looking for to be employed, how can we equip them and make their mind understand that if you want to be employed, you need to be ready for this far.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what can you say to a brother that didn't work even a single day? They don't know anything about work, but they want to work.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, when it comes in terms of finance, I mean, like, financing whatever that they work for. So people, they complain. I mean, like, there are jobs see everywhere, but people, they complain. They say, no, this is not for us. What can you advise those kind of people?
I mean, I think at the beginning, you know, because in life they say you must know what you want.
Yeah.
But now that is also a journey that one need to travel, right? So if you know what are your strengths,
Yeah.
what are your weaknesses,
Yes.
you know, because for someone they will think that for me to be a very, very successful person in whatever that I am actually doing in my life, I need those tertiary qualification.
Okay.
I need all of the education that's out there. But a simple thing, it's you using your mind.
Okay,
Yes. Because if you can wake up, walk around and see, what kind of opportunities people want around your communities, which is something that, one can draw up, which we call it the SWOT analysis.
Yes.
You should look at what is the community striving in, the strength,
Yes.
what is the community lacking, the weakness, what are the opportunities that needs to be actually created around the community for people to strive more, opportunities, and what are the threats, what is it that threatening people to actually take a step back from, looking for employment or equipping themselves, so it's like for a random person, they think those things are way too far from them, but everything is right here in front of us. Because business people, when they start their businesses, they're looking at what people want the most, and how can they serve them.
Yes.
So starting a consumer, that's you saying, what, I actually want to make this place a better place.
Yeah.
Because if you go into a place whereby people are not employed at all.
Yeah.
You know, what will ask you that, okay, what makes you to want to start a business there? Because people are not working at all.
Yeah.
But someone who uses their mind, they will say, you know what, I think it will help me to make people realize that in order for them to buy food, they need to look for employment.
Yes.
Starting a business starts to make people, it starts to make people think that, okay, if I need to buy something, that means I need to go to work and then I get paid a salary so that I can come and put food on the table.
Yes.
So things like businesses, they really help people, into opening their mind, opening the mindset of making sure that I'm always, equipping myself, knowing and learning.
Yeah.
If you can close yourself from learning things, that for me, that's you saying you don't want to do anything in your life.
Yes.
So
They say the power is in your mind. I mean, like,
Yes.
you need to go out there, as you said. We diving deep with more about unemployment. You know,
Yeah.
it's a crisis on its own in our country, but I think we need to start somewhere. I will
Yeah.
say again that as individual, as everyone that is looking for employment, you understand, you need to start somewhere. So whatever that you get, take it serious and make sure that you go out there, you do your best. You don't know who's looking at you or who will find you. And I mean, more for people that are around. I mean, like, they've been around, they've been trying their best, but they've been killed with one thing, what we call experience. Because, like, you will find that there are people that advertising jobs and everything, but when you look at it, they say 5 years experience, 3 years experience. So what must happen there when we talk about experience of each and every job that they've been like advertising out there and say, we need 3 years, we need 2 years.
Yeah.
So people they must look at it as in, like, I don't have experience, I mustn't apply this one. Or they must say, let me volunteer or anything. What can you say about that?
I mean, it's a wake-up call that you have to, because people are like, okay, man, I just graduated, but here they say they want someone who has 3 years experience. So it's like they're forcing people to think outside their normal everyday mindset.
Okay.
To say, if I wake up and look for employment, but they want 3 years of me, that means I need to get experience somewhere.
Okay.
It's something that you need to work on, because experience doesn't mean going to work and getting paid. Experience means, okay, I volunteer at this place at a certain time. I do this certain work. I did this work for a certain time. And then when they see, okay, you have volunteered, they know you are still new. You are a graduated student or a learner. So if you go out and make effort of getting that kind of experience they want in that company, they will see your efforts and they will try to contact where you got the experience from. And then they will call and say, okay, have this person been working here? And then, yes, he's been with us for 3 years, and he's been exceptional with his job. And then there his job statement, job results, and everything that they need to know from you. So from there, those people will say, okay, this kind of person has a high chance of actually getting a job in this company. And since he had, a job that was not paying, let us give him, a job that is paying, because that's where you see what we call today job performance. Someone starts in a place whereby they're equipping themselves, and now they are got into the real job
thing,
yes. So when it's like that, you grow further.
Yes, I mean, like, you've touched a lot of things about unemployment, So, but before we continue more, let's go to the break, and then we'll see what we can talk about when we come back.
Depression and suicide are serious issues that affect many people. If you're feeling alone or hopeless, know that you are not alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, there are resources available to help you. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group offers a 24-hour toll-free emergency helpline for suicide crisis support. Call them on 0800 567 567. Remember, you're not alone. There is hope and help is available.
Welcome back. Before we go to the break, there were a lot that we've been touched base on, but I think more for someone out there now listening to us this afternoon and thinking that I'm unemployed, I'm not doing anything, but there are guys now in the platform, they're talking about these. What can you encourage them? To look at from today going forward.
There are a lot of things to look at, because we need to watch at the system and the performance of how the country is heading and where the country is heading. In government, www.gov.za, there's information that one can get in terms of what is happening around, because each and every year, there are things that are broken down when it comes to socially, economically, financially, those aspects, because in terms of the South African economy, the problems are there. They are deep and they are structural, in which it's something that we need, I believe, 5 hours to discuss, So I would actually advise people to look out for things like Bosona,
Yes.
like get yourself, knowledgeable about those things. When they say the president is actually going to be speaking on the state of the nation of the address, because that's where the president highlights the things that have gone through, the improvements, where we are lacking and what's needed. State of the nation address is the first thing that people need to watch. Everyone has a TV at home, and I don't think someone can complain that they don't have a television. Even if you don't have a television, you can simply grab yourself a newspaper.
Okay.
Because talking about the SONA, because right now the highlights are still being broken down, I will share my screen with people at home, in which is what the government, had promised people, because last year they did this highlights and they actually gave it to people publicly. So like in terms of economic growth and jobs, this it reads like this. So this one is from the SONA 2022 is the highlight. So it reads as economic growth and jobs. While the government helps existing industries to grow, it is also nurturing new opportunities for growth and jobs. Government and the private sector have worked closely together to grow the global business services sector from a small group of companies to one of the world's leading players. The global business services sector is on track to create 500,000 new jobs over the next few years. The hemp and cannabis sector has the potential to create more than 130,000 new jobs. Government is therefore streamlining the regulatory processes so that the hemp and the cannabis sector can thrive like it is in other countries such as Lesotho. People in the to market in new and innovative forms. The social economy, including early childhood development, nursing, social work, and community services, has significant potential not only to create jobs but to provide vital services that communities need. Some of the countries' mature industries also have a lot to offer in revamping the industrial manufacturing potential of the country. So, when you can go deep, in terms of what the government is promising people. Individually, you can take that thing and run away with it without you noticing, that, okay, the government is actually telling us about this macroeconomical structure that we need to build. But you yourself, you can take those same ideas that the government is trying to implement to people and equip yourself and learn of how things really work in the country. Going to business, going to commodities, you can kind of, go deep yourself and learn what's happening out there. And, from learning one thing, it also goes to learning other things each and every time.
Yes, man. When you talk about learning, I mean, it's something that we can't ignore. I mean, learning is part of our life. I mean, each and everyday life that we are learning new things.
Yes.
So it simply means that we're not gonna be ignoring that.
Yes.
So we need to learn. We need to ask people that are knowledgeable. That we need to learn new something.
Yes.
So more. Taking it further, I mean, from a national level to provincial, I mean, I think we've got provinces that are worse, provinces that can produce more employment or anything, something like that. So I've been looking at the states, Western Cape, that side, Eastern Cape, they've been complaining about a high rate of unemployment, which lead people to crime and all that. So, but we're talking about here, Gauteng and other provinces. I mean, they're trying their best to produce whatever that they're producing. But it's not enough alone. I mean, we're not going to look at government.
Yeah.
Private sectors as well. It needs to produce.
Yes.
So, I mean, for a young one that want to start something out there, I mean, a business that that this business, if I study it, it's going to grow and employ other brothers out there. What can you say about that?
I mean, in terms of making sure that you also want to find yourself in the job creation industry, in the job creation path, I mean, there are a lot of plans, for job creation, because I don't think people think that stealing from the government, because stealing from the government is not only stealing money, but it's something that we're not going to talk about. But information is out there, information that is public to people, which is public knowledge, is actually information that you can steal on the internet. For instance, plans for job creations, you can kind of learn the structures, for one to know how to employ people, for one to know, the health and the occupation safety things, on how to run a company, how to run a business, those things are there. It's public knowledge in which people, they're taking for granted, right? So when information is out there in the public, people think, no, it's fake information. No one can actually release such information to people to enrich themselves. But it is there. They just know that people don't have that mental muscle to equip themselves and go out and be big as they have to be. Because it starts with us. We always ask ourselves, who's the government? When you go to a random person and ask who's the government, they will point at Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa is not the government. We are the government as people. We are the ones who decide what we want. How do we want our communities to look like out there, to the people, So starting by learning those things and actually learning what people want is the first step. Because I think as much as we complain a lot about the government not doing enough for us. We have to show them that we can do it without them, and they need us. The government, the government organizations, they're nothing without us. The structures that were built for government, they're nothing without us.
It's for us to use them.
It's for us to use them. Imagine one person decides to wake up and actually convince other people that, what, we have to create something that will actually work for us. An initiative that is going to push positiveness in our community and making sure that we thrive to be the best. The government that we point will come to us and say, guys, we need to work with you and we need to work together.
Yes.
And that's how we get, communities that thrive to be the best.
Yes, more. You're talking about important things. After this conversation, I don't expect someone to be unemployed. You've been touching all the corners. I think we see out there, you listening, and then it will touch you. You understand? You will understand where to start, what to do. So, but for in case for people that I will say that I'm disadvantaged to a level that I don't have a smartphone. You understand? I'm using a spoolie.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
That's true.
So for more information, that how are they going to engage you with such information that you're talking about? To find out. If using a smartphone, it's easy for you maybe to Google, to look at us here, in platforms, and understand what's happening around the globe. So, but for someone that disadvantaged out there, they don't know where to start. They have got less resources, if I can talk about. We can't ignore that there are people that are poor like that. So we're not all about people that can afford and can do things that you understand what I'm saying. So let's talk about the less advantage. What can you advise them? Where can they start? To get something, this kind of information and everything.
For the less advantage, the beginning is always the hard step to conquer. Because with the beginning, you need a foundation that is solid. So many people do not have that, because you would advise someone to go to school, but they don't know where to start. Because saying to someone go to school, it's not the first thing, but sitting down with them and asking them that what is it that they want in their life, what is it that they're looking for in terms of growing and growth around, emotionally, mentally. Because sometimes we prepare people who are not strong mentally, even emotionally. Someone can be strong physically, but emotionally, and mentally they're weak. So you need to start to infiltrate someone through their mind, know how their mind works, because your question, by answering it, I would just simply say, when I answer that question, I would just simply say they should go to community services centers. Because someone who know well what the community centers do, they would actually go, because that person has knowledge, they've went to school and they've learned about those community things. But I realize how deeply you touched on that, person who is very, very disadvantaged. So it's kind of like looking at their backgrounds and ask them what's the first thing that they would like to change about this background. Because a lot of mistake that we do as human beings, we have been addicted to moving. Because if you can plan by fixing the place and the environment that you are in, grow it to a point that when people see it, they would see a place that is alive. A lot of people are leaving the homesteads. A lot of people are moving into, the city, in which it is known to be the city of gold. There's money, but the real money is there in the homesteads. Real money is where, people in the homesteads, they are really living, in gold mines. Because food, when we talk about food, that's where you can grow food that can attract big companies out there. Imagine that person who is very, very disadvantaged. You just teach the person how to plant a seed.
Wow.
Yes. Water it, because for them, going to school already, maybe they are old and they don't know where to start.
Yes.
You can already start with the adult things that they would understand as they are adults, so that you cannot make them, like you are making them feel to be belittled. You're not belittling someone who's old and telling them that, you know what, you need to go to school. They'll feel like, man, I'm not a small child. Bring me something that is of substance that I can use, to grow and make myself a better person. Growing food is a way to start, But to answer you, it's, start by understanding how their mind works.
Wow.
Yeah.
A very important part, a mind, it's something that is strong in a person. If your mind tells this, it's something that you have to do.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at all these things, all these problems that we have of unemployment and people equipping people, So more, let's come to the urban areas here in Gauteng. A lot of people leave their provinces, coming here, think like they're gonna get employment as simple as quickly as like that. We're not gonna ignore that. Here they must understand that if you come here, there is a lot that is required.
Yeah.
It's not just picking your bags coming this side. You understand? Because here there is rent. You need to have transport. You need to have access to things that you're gonna use as looking for employment.
Yes.
So we mustn't rush people that maybe they are at homes there in provinces that are disadvantaged, you understand? Rushing to us here, think that things are okay here. So, as brothers, as a country, we need to educate each other and talk about this and face it that, brother, if you come to Gauteng, this is what's happening.
What's happening, yeah.
Because people are starting to be street kids, because like they're coming here, think that everything is smooth because of the things that are portrayed on social media and everywhere.
Yeah.
You understand? When you see me posting this thing, nice life.
You're living a nice life.
Yes, but I got it figured. You understand? So I will say that we need to equip our brothers with information. If you get something like this, what we're talking about, show them, let them understand what's happening, where they're going. You understand? Before they move. So it's something that we mustn't undermine.
Yeah.
So people coming here in Gauteng and looking for jobs and everything, so they need to have education. You understand? They need to go there and understand what's happening around Gauteng, how things is done here.
Yeah.
So let's not be stingy about information. Let's share this platform and talk about this.
Yes. Yes.
So going forward, Mone, as we going to close not long, and we've been talking about this. For people that are doing business, and for people that want to employ people, of course we've talked about, and everyone that is looking for employment. How can we wrap it around all this information and make someone to understand that if I have got this, I can have a go ahead. Yes.
So yes, I really love that question, because I think, wrapping everything that you have and making it useful for your life is the most important aspect of actually building, something that will be meaningful to your life. So like making things alive into your life, it's mainly with how you see things around your environment. How do you actually communicate with people? Is your communication better to a point that people will lead you to places that you've never been? And is you and your determination really ready for what is next out there? The challenges, the things that you didn't know that they actually exist in your life. So it's very important to keep some things alive, because a skill is something that is very, very crucial, So I would really like to tell people that if you kind of not getting employment right now, make that thing that you were studying for alive. Keep it alive, because one thing about keeping something alive, it's not limited. there's limitless opportunities out there. For such instance, if one wants to become a police officer,
Yeah.
okay, they see right now is okay. In the police department, they're still full. They're still full people. They can't hire people.
Okay.
But now do research on what is it that causing crime around.
Okay.
By doing that, you are also actually advocating for new solution. You saying I want to be a police officer, and then now from actually collecting research around communities on what's happening, now the department of the police, they will come to you and say, you know what, can you please become our researcher?
Yes.
That is what I'm talking about in terms of making your skill alive, because things that you want, by making them alive, they will become more than what you want.
Yes. Yes.
Hence I'm saying that from you wanting to be a police officer, now you are responsible for researching for the department of the police.
Okay.
So like
Yes, I hear you.
keep your things alive, by making sure that your personal ability is always there. You are able to do things, no matter what, whether there's money, there's no money, you are able to move forward and make sure that you make your life better and the people around you.
Wow, Mo, it's been a wonderful day today. I mean, like a lot of
Indeed.
people they get educated.
Yeah.
So let's quickly take a break.
Depression and suicide are serious issues that affect many people. If you're feeling alone or hopeless, know that you are not alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, there are resources available to help you. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group offers a 24-hour toll-free emergency helpline for suicide crisis support. Call them on 0800 567 567. Remember, you're not alone. There is hope and help is available.
Welcome back. I'm your boy Jay, and then I'm not alone. I'm with Mo. I mean, like we've been talking about this topic of unemployment. I mean, there is a lot that is happening in our country, of course, but I mean, there is a lot of challenges. But we have tried to discuss about this and try to look at the wrongs that we're doing and the right that we can do. I mean, like, so Mo. I mean, like in closing, man. I mean, we've been dwelling in a lot of stuff, but I mean, like for someone that been listening to us or our topic and everything, what more things that we can emphasize? I mean, like as for individual person, and what more can we equip our people out there for getting themselves to better their lives? Yes. So I mean, like take a little bit. I mean, like round everything together and put it together and take it out there and give it to them.
I mean, for a random person out there who's listening to us and watching us on our social media platforms, in which, by the way, we need to mention it's YouTube, guys. Share online, press the subscription button and the notification button so that whenever we drop and Mzansi Affairs is live, you will know. Also, and Facebook is also Share Online, and TikTok Share Online, Instagram is Share Online. So for you out there, because as young as I am and as I am growing, there are a lot of things that I'm getting to learn. Because we have these two generations that seem to be in a fight, for positions.
Yes.
Instead, we need to learn from them as young people, because as much as young people are getting more information, but they don't notice that some of the information might be wrong. You might go out there and think that the information that I have consumed and that I have fed my mind is the right information that I can use, to equip myself. But you need to be careful, because I believe that way before this, a lot of information, there are people who are in big spaces right now that you can go to and speak to, in terms of making right decisions about your life. So I believe in the term that's called, because as young people, they say we are suffering from what information fatigue. So whenever you have a lot of information, you don't know which one to use. But the reality of information is information can cause transformation in your life. So like, people should know that out there, that information causes transformation, whether you like it or not, because positive information can cause positive transformation. Negative information can cause negative transformation. So you need to be careful of the information out there that you equip, because also while I'm here, I'm also learning a lot in terms of what should people do out there, because I've written something down that I would really like to read out to people, in which the key is to use a combination of the strategies so that you involve yourself in multiple sources of influence. So if you know what you want to do and put yourself out there, simultaneously, things will come, at you without you noticing that you're attracting success. Success, I don't believe success is just one path, but it's different path, taken with a strategy. So
I hear you more. I mean, like, because of our time, we need to rush and go, man. I believe that we have reached out all people out there. We have done whatever we're supposed to do. I mean, people will engage us in our social media platforms, and then you can comment, you can do all these things that's supposed to be do, so that we know that next week when we come back, there will be something that we're gonna talk about, of course. So, guys, let's do the right thing for our life. Let's go out there and listen to what other people can say about our life, and you never know. But thank you very much for being with us this afternoon. Thank you, Mo.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.